Okay, so this is the second video for this chapter, fifth chapter, multiplier, diviser des quotients. Quotient means fractions in this case. Before I start on teaching you how to divide fractions, I must go back to these four problems I gave you in the last video, and I must say I'm really disappointed with this one. I asked you to find out the inverse of 0 over 12, and every one of you except Devansh, who got it correct, all of you just wrote 12 over 0, and one of you even wrote 12 over 0 is equal to 12. Now we know very well that you cannot divide a number by 0. It has no meaning. So the correct answer was inverse of 0 over 12, that it is not possible to take inverse of 0 over 12. In any case, 0 over 12 is equal to 0. So you cannot divide any number by 0. Rather, even 12 you cannot divide. No number you can divide. Here, inverse of 8 over 16. Every one of you got 16 over 8. Some of you simplified it to 2. And one of you even simplified it to 2 over 1. Now you never write 1 in the denominator. I mentioned that in the previous video. I'm reminding you now. And one of you, you know who you are, simplified the 3 here and the 9 here. I started laughing so much that I didn't go on to this part of the problem. Maybe he also simplified 3 and 12. But this is an addition. You don't simplify. You only simplify when you have a multiplication. Okay, I must say that I was quite disappointed in the lot of you about this. Only Devansh, as I said, got it right, and Animesh didn't even submit these answers. I don't even know whether he has watched the video. Okay, so today we come to division of fractions, and I've devoted one entire video to it because it's quite interesting the way we have to conceive it. So you might even know how to do it, but you really don't know why you're doing it. And in my class, I try to explain the basics behind the rules. Okay, so division par une fraction. Let's take. So we'll start by what is division. What exactly is meant by division? Division is actually the opposite operation of multiplication. So division is defined as the opposite of multiplication. Opposite I put within quotes here because opposite is really not a mathematical term, but you understand what I mean. By an example, I can show you. If A divided by B is equal to C, then so you have to find C such that B into C will give you A. So C is your unknown, A and B you know, so you have to find a C so that if you multiply B and C you get A. This is very simple. It might confuse a little because I have written as ABC rather than numbers, which is what I do here. So if I say 26 divided by 13, instead of now C, I'm writing here a question mark in a box. This is my unknown. This is what I want to find. Remember, we're not talking of fractions yet. We're just talking of division in general. So what is 26 divided by 13? You all know it is 2. But it really means that what if I multiply into 13 will give me 26. What if I multiply by 13 will give me 26. So the answer is obviously 2. So that means 26 divided by 13 is equal to 2. In this video, I am using this division sign, the horizontal line with 2 dots, one below, one above. And I really don't like to do that, but in this video I'll use it. And in future I'll tend to avoid it, and I also want you to avoid it as much as possible. Okay, but in this video we'll do it. So here the question mark is obviously 2. So 26 divided by 13 is equal to 2. So here we didn't do any calculation as such. We just saw that we know that 13 into 2 gives 26. So that's why the answer is 2. So if I generalize, if I say A over B is equal to C, it's the same as this. A divided by B is equal to C. Now I've written it as with the horizontal line, a over b is equal to c, therefore a is equal to c into b. From here to here, how do you come? You're taking b from this side to that side. Now taking from one side to another side is not a mathematical operation, but what you're essentially doing is you're multiplying both sides by b. So if you multiply this side by b, you'll get ab over b, so b will cancel out, and this side you'll get c into b, so you'll get a is equal to c into b. Okay, so let's take another example. Soon we'll come to fractions, but let's take another example. 10 divided by 5 is equal to what? So again, 10 is equal, that means 10 is equal to, why isn't it focusing? Now it's focusing. 10 is equal to 5 into box. I'll just call it box or question box. So 5 into question box is equal to 10. What did I change? From here to here you understood. I'm taking 5 on that side. So 10 is equal to 5 into box. Here what did I do? 5 into box is equal to 10. I just changed the members of the equation. I put this on the left side, put 10 on the right side. Why did I do that? Because it's a convention to put the unknown on the left always. I've mentioned that before. So now I've done this. Now what value can I put in here to get 10? We all know if you put 2 you'll get 10. 5 into 2 is equal to 10. So therefore question box is equal to 2. Okay. So this is the concept of division, because it is the so-called opposite of multiplication, and that is what we have done here. This is division, this is opposite of multiplication. This I have written, just put this on the left and 10 on the right there, and then I have solved it. Now what do you mean by solved it? I just happen to know that 5 into 2 is equal to 10. What do you mean by happen to know? Well, I learnt my multiplication tables when I was a kid, so I now know. So we'll use the same process for fractions. Shall we? Okay, here we go. So 6 divided by 7. Okay, I won't say that. I'll say 6 over 7 divided by 2 over 5. So I'm dividing one fraction by another fraction. Remember, if this was a multiplication sign, you knew very well what to do. You have to multiply the numerators, you have to multiply the denominators, and you get the answer. That's a very simple thing. But here now we are doing division. So 6 over 7 divided by 2 over 5 is equal to what? So let's do the same thing. First I write 6 into 7 is equal to 2 into 5 into question box, because this is what it is. I'm dividing by this value by this value, gives me that. So therefore this value into that value will equal this value. So 6 over 7, this is my A and this is my B and this is my C. So A is equal to B into C. C is my unknown, which is what I want to find. So 6 over 7 is equal to 2 into 5 into question mark, question box. Okay, so now I do the same thing that I did up there. I just rewrite it, but I put this member on this side and this member on this side. So I just copied it and I've written it. Now comes the solving bit. What can I put here so that I get 6 over 7? So here is where I use a little bit of ingenuity or cleverness. So first of all, that question box, I expand it into a bigger box. So we need 6 over 7. So, and we need to get rid of this 2 over 5. So the simplest way to get rid of the 2 over 5 is to multiply it with 5 over 2. Because then 5 and 5 will cancel out, 2 and 2 will cancel out. So first thing I do is I take this fraction and I write the inverse here. That becomes 5 over 2. So if I just take this, 2 into 5 over 5 into 2 is equal to what? It is equal to 1, because we get 10 over 10, correct? So this is equal to 1. That's the whole idea, that we eliminate this 2 into 5 by multiplying it with its reciprocal, with its inverse. So I get that. But I need 6 into 7, so I multiply it by 6 I need 6 over 7, so I multiply it by 6 over 7. So essentially my question box is this. Okay, because if I multiply this with this whole question box, I will get 6 over 7. Very simply, 2 over 5 will get cancelled out by 5 over 2, and into 6 over 7 will give us 6 over 7. So my question box is therefore, that means my 6 over 7 divided by 2 over 5, this is my question box, is equal to 5 into 6 divided by 2 into 7. So what is this? 5 into 6, you know, is 30. What is 2 into 7? Let me see. Yeah, there we go. We got it in focus. 2 into 7 is 30 over 14. If you like, you simplify it. Not if you like, you should simplify it. 30 over 14 becomes 15 over 7. You divide both numerator and denominator by 2. So you get 15 over 7. Okay, so this is the trickery part. This is what we did. We took A and we multiplied it by the reciprocal of A, and we just took B and we put B there. No, sorry, this is B. So we took 2 over 5, we multiplied it by the reciprocal of 2 over 5 and multiplied it into A, which is 6 over 7. We'll take we'll take several examples and then you'll see, you'll find it very easy to do. Okay, so here we are, new page, another example. 7 over 17 divided by 3 over 4. Now, you see this line is big and I put equals A here. A is my unknown, is the value of this operation, of this calculation. So you see 7 divided by 7 over 17, I took a small line, 3 over 4 I took a small line, and dividing line between the two I made it big. This is important, the size of the line, because this implies that you're dividing this by this. When I say this, I mean whatever is under my finger. So I'm dividing 7 over 17 by 3 over 4. Later on I'll show you if you draw this line differently, how the result changes. Okay, in this video itself I will show you. Okay, so now we do the same thing. We can say that means 7 over 17 is equal to 3 over 4 into A. We're just taking this on this side. So now we have to find out A. So again, like before, I move this to the left and I move that to the right. That's all I've done in this step. Okay, now we open the box. Sorry, not open the box. We take A and we replace it with the box. So we learned that to get rid of 3 over 4, just 1 minute, I get it in focus. Yes. To get rid of 3 over 4, I multiplied by 4 over 3. And then I multiplied by 7 over 17 to get 7 over 17. So my A is equal to this. My answer is equal to this. So A is equal to 4 into 7 divided by 3 into 17, which gives me 28 over 51. Therefore, 7 over 17 divided by 3 over 4 is equal to 28 over 51. Have you understood the process? So, whether you understood it or not, you can pause here. You can, if you like, copy this down on a bit of paper, because now I give you 3 problems to do just like this. You have to write it step by step by step by step. You can draw a box, you can write an unknown as A or a question box, up to you, and you have to give me the result in this format. So let's take, the first is 8 over 16 divided by 10 over 7. The second is 23 over 16 divided by 16 over 23. You have to do it exactly this way. Don't try to take any shortcuts. The only shortcuts you can do is you can simplify the equation, simplify the fraction if you can at any point. And C, this is the third problem. This is 23 over 16 divided by 23 over 16. Again, you do it in this way. And when you get the final answer, please simplify as much as possible. I don't think we can simplify this, so I've left it at that. In this case, I could simplify it 30 over 14, so I had simplified it to 15 over 7. Okay, now we're back here. So what if the dividend is an integer? Dividend, I think, is the term for the number you're dividing. So suppose I say 6 divided by 10 over 13. How would I do this? So again I can say a is equal to, if this is equal to a, let me write that down. I'm defining it. A is equal to 6 divided by 10 over 13. So therefore 6 is equal to 10 over 13 into a. This is the meaning of division. I don't really like going back up on the same piece of paper, but I'm doing it because I don't want to turn the page yet. So I get, now I'll put this on the left, so I get 10 over 13 into a is equal to 6. So what do I get? I get 10 over 13. I make a box, into is equal to 6. So how do I fill this in? So the first thing I did was 10 over 13. I wrote its reciprocal, 13 over 10, to get rid of this 10 over 13, because now 10 into 13 divided by 13 into 10 will give me 1. Then I need 6 on the other side, so I just copied 6 here into 6. So the answer is 13 over 10 into 6, and I've written 6 over 1. In case you want to write it as a fraction, you can write 6 over 1, but it's the same thing. Now when you multiply this, you get 78 over 10, which I forgot to simplify. You can, you know how to, what will be? Yeah, divide by 2. You'll get 39 over 5. Okay. Okay, so this is if the dividend is an integer. Now what if you divide by an integer? If you divide a fraction by an integer, 10 over 13 divided by 6 is equal to x. So what is x? So again we can say 10 over 13 is equal to 6 into x. And again I switch them left and right. So 6 into x is equal to 10 over 13. So now what do I put here in the box replacing x? 6. What do I have to do to 6? Multiply by 6 to get it all to come to 1. I have to multiply by 1 over 6. The reciprocal of 6 is 1 over 6. The inverse of 6 is 1 over 6, because 6 is actually equal to 6 over 1. So when you flip it, you get 1 over 6, and then you multiply by 10 over 13 to get 10 over 13 here. So the answer is x is equal to 1 into 10 divided by 6 into 13, 10 over 78. And again I forgot to simplify. This is 5 over 39 there. Okay. So now we come to the general rule, and this is what you have been taught, but you will see how we come to it. So suppose I want to divide a over b by c over d. Let's call it y. Therefore a over b is equal to c over d into y. That is a into sign. Then I rewrite it. I'll put that on the left, this on the right. C over d into y is equal to a over b. So now what do I replace y by to get a over b? The first thing is I take the reciprocal of this. So I put d over c, and then I multiply by a over b to get a over b on this side, to make it equal to a over b. So my y is equal to d over c into a over b, which I rewrite because I'd rather write a and a in front before d, which I just change the order. I write a over b into d over c. I'm not writing AD over BC for a particular reason, because A over B and D over C are different fractions. So the rule is A over B divided by C over D will give you, the answer is A over B. You just copy that first fraction, the top fraction, the dividend, and the divider, you just flip it, D over C. So A over B divided by C over D is always going to equal A over B into D over C. Not C over D, D over C. I would suggest that you rewind this video, maybe even up to this point, and then you re-watch this. One important point is that this is only true. This is only true when B is equal to 0, when C is equal to 0, and D is equal to 0. A can be equal to 0, but the other three you cannot have equal to 0 because you're going to be dividing by them at some point or the other. Okay, and division by 0, now we all know, is not a operation that is defined in mathematics. Looking at my corners, I've got folded. Okay. Right, we are 20 minutes into the video. Now the last page. We'll do a few examples and then I'll give you some more problems to do. Okay, so this is it. I'm copying it again because I've turned the page. And now we'll do some numerical examples. So 2 over 3 divided by 4 over 3 is 2 into 2 over 3 into 3 over 4, because I'm going to flip this. 4 over 3, I'm going to take its reciprocal, 3 over 4. So if I do this multiplication, 2 into 3 is 6, 3 into 4 is 12, 6 over 12 I get. I can simplify to 1 over 2. 2 divided by 2 over 3 divided by 4 over 3 will give me 1 over 2. Now this, you're using this short form, but if you did this calculation like I've taught you here with the boxes, you will come to the same answer. And the book in fact only tells you this, just tells you this: diviser par un nombre relatif différent de 0 revient à multiplier par son inverse. Dividing by a non-zero number, nombre relatif, that means it can be written as a ratio, as a quotient. Différent de 0, that we were making sure we are not dividing by 0 anywhere. Revient à multiplier par son inverse. Now the whole book just tells you this. So basically they are telling you this. But they haven't told you how you came to this. And that is what I find personally rather disappointing with this Transmath series of books, because they don't go into proofs. They only tell you the rule to apply and you are supposed to apply it blindly. But no, in this class I will try to give you the proofs as long as I believe you will be capable of understanding them. Okay, so let's take another example. 17 over 100 divided by 6 over 7. You'll give 17 over 100 into 7 over 6. This is 6 over 7. So you take the reciprocal 7 over 6. You get 119 over 600. 17 into 7 is 119 divided by 600. Similarly, now we come to that interesting bit. 6 divided by 2 over 3. So it is 6 into 3 over 2. You're taking the reciprocal of the divider. It's 3 over 2. 2 over 3 is here. So 3 over 2, we get 18 over 2, which is equal to 9. I can simplify it to 9. Now if I take 6 over 2 divided by 3, see, same three numbers, 6, 2, 3, 6, 2, 3, but this is the big line. More important, that this is where I put the equal sign. So whenever you write this, make sure the equal sign is in line with the main dividing line. Don't put it, for example, don't write it here or here. Always make sure it is in equal sign is in line with the main dividing line here. See, main dividing line equals here. So see, 6, 2, 3, 6, 2, 3, but the number, our result will be different. So the top is, the fraction to be divided is 6 over 2 divided by 3. Now what is the reciprocal of 3? 3 is equal to 3 over 1. So reciprocal of 3 over 1 is 1 over 3. So 6, so this is what we get, 6 over 2 into 1 over 3. You'll get 6 over 6 is equal to 1. Here you got 9, here you got 1, because these problems are different. So remember to draw the line big. Remember to put the equal sign in the correct place. Okay, so now we'll do 4 more problems. So these problems that I gave you, A, B, C, you have to use this whole process for each one of them. You have to use the box and you have to do this. In these ones, in these 4 problems, you can just use the method now that you have learnt it. So 7 divided by 6 divided by 7 divided by 6. 7 over 6 divided by 7 over 6. Can't see this dot very properly. There. This one is 7 over 6 divided by 6 over 7. This one is 0 divided by 12 over 13. There. Now we're in focus again. And this one is a slightly bit more complicated. It's for people who don't know how to add and subtract fractions. 1 over 2 plus 6 over 7 divided by 3 over 4 minus 2 over 3. So in this case, first you have to do that, and then come to the division. Okay. So these 7 problems you have to do, and once you do them correctly, I will be convinced that you have understood how to divide fractions properly. Okay, think about this one. Don't make similar mistake to what has been done in the problem of the previous video. Okay, 26 minutes of speaking. My throat is dry. I'm going to stop here, and I'm going to upload this soon.